If you considered my uploads as destructive, unacceptable, I don't care. I don't say my things like this. I say it because this is the second video. The first video I have deleted. It was 52 minutes. But I would not, I mean, I feel that I have crossed the lines. In 52 minutes, I have crossed the line in an unbelievable way. I have mentioned this point previously before 2 years or more. And an upload in English. And the channel was deleted. I'm gonna repeat saying it in English. I have said it in Arabic many times, maybe 3 or 4 times. In this list, I don't know if it's there or not, but I think it's not deleted. I'm gonna say it in English. This explanation in English, explaining an important point between showing and explaining India and China, and what happened in India and what happened in China. Everyone knows that the environment of China, if you return back 14th century and something like that, centuries before, the faith that is called the Buddhist was to a certain level there in China. Its roots is in China, the so-called Buddhist. Why it's so-called Buddhist? Because with time, within the last 2,000 years, let's return back 2,000 years or 2,000 and a half years, or 2,000, within the 25 centuries before, there was an absolute collapse to the basis and what Buddha have explained about. Now, this is not my opinion, this is fact. In another way, if Buddha is living before 5th century or 9th century or 1,500 years, he would come and talk to those who are calling themselves Buddhists, and he would say, I got nothing to do with you, okay, because you are just manipulating everything I was explaining about. This is another. Now, have so many Muslim scholars make a debate and ensure by studies and hadith and things that Buddha was one of the Buddha the good was one of God's messengers. But the word was manipulated, and this is why Allah have sent messengers repeatedly, and Muhammad was the final. I'm not going to cross the line with any group. There is an absolute confirmed hadith explaining that there was a lot of statues in Kaaba, inside Kaaba, and this is unacceptable. One of these statues was for Buddha, a so-called Buddha statue. This is the preparation that the devil have made before, as he know, he's a divine creature, but there will be a messenger in the Arabian Peninsula, so he prepared unacceptable thing in Kaaba, in Mecca, where Ibrahim put his leg. Ibrahim was there. This is the children of Ismail. He went to so many points, Ibrahim, in the Holy Land. He stood there and he did a prayer in Egypt, in Mecca, and other. That mainly because he knew what would happen while he's walking in Medina. Now, this is not. Let's focus in Mecca and the Holy Land. This is Ibrahim. The devil knows there is only one Abrahamic faith, which is the Noahic faith. No, that's it. You need to understand this. There is a lot of messengers before Noah and a lot of messengers after Noah. More before Noah. They have changed the stones figures even in Kaaba, in Mecca, which represent a pyramidic, something to do with the pyramid, the fihrar. Look like a dick. They used to throw, nothing to do with. Throw 7 stones to it. Now they change it to become like the ark, the Noah ark. Unbelievable. Muslims are throwing stone at it, 7 stones. And this is, I have explained about this and I don't need to explain about this. This is how you are treating your spirit with the spiritually and materially within this existence, and how you deal with this. Anyway, this is not the topic. So the devil have made preparation before the Messiah, the child of God, the emperor, the son of God, the cross. And he did preparation before Muhammad by bringing all of these stones to Kaaba. Inside Kaaba and outside Kaaba. Now this is not lies. The lies is that they are circling and rubbish like that. It was never circle. It was tattoos. And they do unacceptable sort of spiritual taqus, worshipping unbelievable things, okay, like happening in all continent and planet Earth until now. God have sent Muhammad, the final messenger, peace be upon him, to clean this mess that the devil have created. It's obvious, everyone can read it, everyone can see it, okay. Now, which means that there was a lot of manipulation before. I'm just trying to explain. This is what happened in China. Now, in India, it's the same. There is a supreme creator, like the God, what they call it, the ancient God of China, and there is messengers. These messengers, like the Messiah, who they call, unfortunately, Jesus, Isa, they made them gods. They are in very previous ancient time than the Messiah. So the manipulation that will take place by the devil, if we are gonna, or by the dark groups for any certain agenda, would be far bigger and bigger and bigger. Corruption, unfortunately, dark and light, righteousness, sins, is part of the human species' existence. This is if there is an atheist with us listening to my video. The so-called Hindus are in India live in a different environment than the so-called Buddhist history in China. Why is that? If you return back 2,000 years, you will find that ancient got knowledge, that China got knowledge, and India got knowledge. And you will find that Europe will get knowledge. I understand that some of you will say what you say is wrong in this point, and this point, and this point. No. Don't come to me as an enemy. Come to me as someone taking the information and try to find places to it. Then you will see that I'm saying the truth. Okay. I'm just saying it in a normal way. How the devil destroyed the representation of God word. How? Look at the West. In the name of Jesus, on the cross, dark ages. Okay? There is a lot among Europe who were killed because they rejected Jesus, who is related to the Messiah, son of Virgin Mary, who should represent love, peace, harmony, righteousness, beautiful. That's it. This didn't happen because since Constantine and after, before him, there was an absolute invasion by the devil to the mind of human to drag them to hellfire, to darkness. The same when it's come to those who call themselves Buddhist or Hindus. But the difference is that the so-called Buddhist manipulation found a good environment for prosperity. The so-called Buddhist, the manipulation, found with time, at the beginning it was all about righteousness, the righteousness that Buddhists have provided. As someone, a prince from a great respected bloodline, the population was few, and he started explaining why we are here in this dunya. Who's the God? How to worship? How to practice? All of this. This is ancient time. And this have spread. Like it spread at the time of Abraham, Muhammad, peace be upon him, Moses. It depends on the population. After Noah, things happened before Noah. Solomon, peace be upon him, when a lot of people entered the Yahudian faith as Gohem and Gentile as at the time of Solomon, because he was a messenger, active king, preaching and preaching and preaching and preaching. People accept, people do not accept. Ground of excuse, calculation at judgment day, each one of human who were exposed to this explanation about God. I'm not going to talk about the so-called Shiite. Things happened to them since the Safavis to Ali Khomeini. No. I'm going to talk about. I'm going to focus on India and China. It was a wonderful 52-minute, but I deleted. I thank the City Council and I thank NHS, especially that they helped me after that problem and incident with the police. It's a civilized department, and I thank them. I am here when I talk about Islam. I do not represent Quran. They hate Quran and they want to humiliate Quran. Not all. They wanted to humiliate Islam. But because my environment was attacked, and the first step for those who wanted to do something in Middle East to achieve their goal, don't argue, to achieve what they did, they attacked my faith, or the faith of submission to the creator, owner, founder of existence, the way he wanted at this era through the divine plan. They did this, so what? I am dealing with problems. So I find myself obligated to defend the faith and expose the enemies of this faith. And at the same time, explain about the racial differentiation. We are all human, we love each other. The cultural differentiation, historical differentiation, you understand, all together. I'm a little bit, not upset, not tense, not angry, maybe a mix, upset, I don't know. Because I lost 52 minutes, I deleted, I crossed the line. And I don't want to upload it, but anyway. I'm trying to say it again, and without crossing the line. Those who call themselves Chinese, at that time, you can return back to history, as a so-called Buddhist, the so-called Buddhist, so-called, not the real Buddhist, when it's becoming a so-called, the dark machine of the so-called Buddhist, produced a lot of Budophilia. And produced a lot of, you can go to rape culture, other things, unacceptable attitude because of this manipulation within the scriptures. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I don't want to cross the line. And you can see it in the social DNA of this Asian country, how there is a lot of males involved in she-malehood. Okay? Without crossing the line. Not because the environment has something deep to do with its history that is creating this. That's it. I don't want to say anything more. I have explained a lot on other channel and videos. Okay. I wear these clothes because I don't use the heater in my room for reasons, personal reasons. Did anything came to China and ruined this prosperity of satanic manipulation, creating this dark methods of the so-called Buddhist? No. Until Japan made these invasions. No. Within China, they used to do the change as a chemical boiling. Chemical materials and liquids are boiling. No one interfered. No one came from outside, either positively or negatively, to change the prosperity of this negative representation of Buddha. Nothing. The ground of excuse will find its suitable calculation at Judgment Day. This is not the topic. This is not the topic. Okay. They accepted communist within decades. They rejected the so-called Buddhist faith. Look at China. Communist in a very fast way. And they persecuted the so-called Buddhists. And they executed, and that's it. You can go in the history. You can restart the history in your mind by studying what happened in the last century. And look what you're dealing with. No belief in God. The same in the West, but to a certain level, because the cross is a satanic, tagotic. Don't be angry with the truth. Don't be angry with the truth. Thank you for your freedom of speech. Thank you. The satanic cross, which will find its way to a certain level until the Messiah, and the Messiah will come and destroy it. And the Messiah will come, will kill the pig of earth, even if they want to call it Isa. And he will explain that there is no salvation for sin and thing or this rubbish. And the submission, they will come. And this is thing to do with Roma. وَجَدَ إِبْلِيسُ ضَالَّتَهُ بِالرُّومِ. And things to do with Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Things to do with divine plan. Now this is not the topic. Now this is the West. Europe. People reverted. The devil brought this cross and Jesus faith after Constantine, and I have explained about this. And he imposed it by the sword of the Romans. Accept it or you're dead. Those who do not worship our God are dead. This is in the Bible. Those who don't worship your God, kill them. This is the Antichrist and Satan, his father methods. Yes, the resource is one. There are a lot of manipulation. There was a lot of manipulation and corruption that occurred in the Bible. Either you want to like it or not. That's it. Not in Quran. That's why God have sent Muhammad as a final messenger. Muhammad is not a pedophile. Muhammad caller for equality. Muhammad is a caller for women's rights. Muhammad is caller for peace. Muhammad is resisting darkness on planet Earth, especially in the Arabian Peninsula. Muhammad fought against racism. Muhammad fought against slavery. This is facts. This is facts. You don't need to argue with the rubbish, the manipulation. He was a beautiful person. Either he's a messenger or a liar. He was a good person. And if you were living there, you will kiss his leg, but he wouldn't accept that. And he would insist that he's not accept a messenger. And he's a wonderful, humble, smiling man. When it needs to wage the wars for the reason that God have explained, he's ready. He's ready. He put himself under the servant of God, as a servant of God. And at the time when he's going to be happy with children, explaining to them and playing to them, bothering him even while he's praying, either his closest family or others, children of companion, teaching them how, he is also willing to, because he is what? Inspired by God. That's it. Finish. You hate Quran, you want to shit in Quran, piss in Quran, shit in my face or whatever, Muhammad name, my picture face, or do whatever. You're only doing this to yourself. It's a liquid material dimensional karma cosmetic thing that will come to you and fuck your life, either in this life or in the hereafter. Wait for it. May Allah not forgive you. Worldwide, in the east and the west, may Allah be merciful on me. Now, India. Then why smart Tariq? India is a so-called Hindu country. They are extreme calling themselves. And why the so-called Hindu, I don't need to repeat a lot of explanation, dark manipulation that was imposed by the devil through those who didn't see God the way they should, within time, within society, and through the manipulation and the corruption that took place within this thousands of years, because we're dealing with an ancient faith. You can study all of those messengers, good Krishna, good Ram, and others, were considered gods with time, the way it is with the Messiah. The way it is in a different aspect with Buddha. They say we are the follower of Buddha. No, there is a taghutic worshipping attitude act, but you cannot see it. And there is some sector among them before worshipped Buddha. And so on. Now this is not the point. Not the point. The point is why this so-called Hindu darkness didn't find a good environment to prosperity. There was a time for it to prosper. And then the darkness of it. The darkness, because unfortunately the darkness within monks, leaders there took its place, king, whatever, before Islam ruled them. We're talking about more than 5,500 years and things like that. There was a lot of massacres between them both, based on the manipulated, corrupted scriptures. A lot of slavery to group of people, rape culture and pedophilia and children sacrifice, unbelievable things. Dirty, I'm not gonna say things so that the video would, unclean practices, unacceptable practices that the community of many so-called Hindus were crying and asking God to protect them from it. Why it didn't continue to bring this damage to the so-called Hindus? Why the prosperity of this so-called Hindu darkness didn't find its path to do more damage to what is related to the real Hindusem? Why? So that the people of India would accept, like the Chinese, communist, atheism, fuckithism, whatever. Why this didn't happen? Because of two reasons. I'm going to mention one reason. I'm not going to mention the other reason. And why they returned back and become an extremist again, relating themselves to Hinduism the way it is right now, worse than before, and forgetting there is two reasons. I'm going to mention one reason, right? I'm not going to mention two. This is how it is, because they will use it. Think about it. You will find it if you're smart, but I'm not going to say it. Anyway, I'm just a nice guy, and that's it. Many people knows this. Alhamdulillah. Thanks to him, Allah Almighty, the owner, the founder, the creator of existence, who sent Muhammad, and Muhammad is his final messenger. I'm tired, trust me. I'm tired. So those who are happy, didn't face real problems, nice people, just easy, okay? Easy. 3, happy, let's hope, yani. Didn't face real issues in their life. And nice. Easy. If you are one of, if not, the case is it was 52 minutes. Wallahi, it was wonderful, but I deleted it. Wonderful. Better than this, and I'm a little bit, I don't have a program where to cut it to pieces. I would do it, you know. I would cut this. I can't. And it will take me a lot to take this part, 10 minutes, then when you do this in the YouTube. So I just delete it. Anyway, those who call themselves Hindus, they were blessed by Islam. Islam came, and the word prosperity, I'm using it find another way. The development, the negative development. But anyway, this prosperity of darkness didn't find its place because Islam came. And then it created an environment where there is a Muslim elite implementing Islam law. stopping massacre between the so-called Hindus, stopping destruction of temples between the so-called Hindus group each other, stopping in slavery, stopping rape culture, because the rules is there. You rape, you steal, based on the law. Now, not shoplifting, not. You enslave, you can't. There is rules. Even if he's your slave, you don't kill him. You don't torture him. Release him. Those who are Muslim, not fasting, not doing anything, not the Muslims. There is a lot of Muslims cannot fast. If they have money, they can repay their fasting by what? A lot of things. فك رقبة. What does it want? They go and free some slaves. The slaves must be Muslims? No. Any slaves. And so many slaves who were freed continue being a so-called Hindus. And there is Muslim who accepted Islam. And there is Khans and big bosses and things like that. Well, whatever. Because the word Khan would be others, a leader who accepted Islam because they found, you know what? Exactly in the Arabian Peninsula, and I have explained. People on lower levels accepted Islam. People on higher levels also accepted Islam when they find things. A lot of these ancestor people, life, were speared. I mean, no one killed their ancestor because there was a lot of killing. They stopped. People start looking. There was not a unity. It is certain. We are the Hindus, and this is the elite Muslim ruling us. It changed the environment. There is no more Catholic, Protestant, Angelic, no more. There is no more Sunni, Shiite, because a different group coming there. Either you accept being one of them, of course it's different. Islam is not like any other. Or you will not be having the capability to be a spreader or an implementer of the satanic implementation that in your mind that will create an additional prosperity to the darkness that you are relating to Hinduism. You understand me? There will be no more massacres, no more rape culture, no more pedophilia, and the Islamic Hindian, the word Hindu, I'm not going to talk about what does it mean and things because there is a lot of, no, this is not the topic. The Islamic Indian explained that the Muslim leaders have destroyed some temples based on the request of the so-called Hindu community when they start losing some children, when they were attacked by monks or raped or whatever. Please, you can see the result of this manipulation and corruption in the scriptures until now. I don't need to explain. You can find it even in my channel. And if you study more, oh my God, the so-called Hindusem and so-called Buddhism. Don't be angry with the truth. Contradiction is not good. And if you want to cause trouble, don't have anything to do with it coming to me, to my environment, directly and indirectly. Don't be angry with Muslims. I'm not here defending any Muslim. They are human beings. You should be a Muslim. But anyway, Islam is all about the reality of what's the universal law that was inspired to the messengers near the Hindu river. This is not the topic. Exactly like so-called Buddhists. Okay, what happened? The so-called Hindus, the prosperity of this darkness stopped to a certain, to the maximum, because Islam stopped it. Colonization came to us. From whom? Gog and Magog, the West. What did the West did? The West have an issue with Islam. The West did the cross. West attempted attacking the grave of Muhammad. Now they are helping to build all sort of satanic house of worship in the Arabian Peninsula, just not showing any respect to the rules that Allah have sent Muhammad. This is not the topic. I crossed the line also here. The West want to take the Holy Land. They are believing the lie that the Holy Land was them. It's not yours. The Roman occupied it. They took it from us, the Israelite, by force. And Allah have sent Muhammad to us in that certain time, so that the Israelite and the Ismailite who took it back as a Muslim family, and others accepted Islam. And then the crusade, you call it Harb al-Istirdad, returned it. It was not yours. You shouldn't be there. And then you were kicked out by Salah ad-Din, may Allah bless his soul, the mortal, even if he was dying in his bed. May Allah grant him all peace, blessings. He's not a messenger, definitely. He's a follower of Muhammad. And then you established the so-called Israeli state by the Goyim and Gentile. So these 4 centuries of hatred by the so-called Christian, I'm not talking about lovely Westerns, among them good people. 4 centuries of colonizing India ended with England. England didn't start it. Other countries, okay, in Europe. Go and study this as well. Go and study it. Give it some time. Within this 4th century وجد إبليس ضالته في الروم جوجا مأجوج من كل حدب ينسلون يأجوج ومأجوج. Making in the hadith in the Quran, you can see, making all of this destruction to the word of God and enhancing the power of those nationalists who got nothing to do with what Hindusem is about, and they are filled with hate because hate will grant them to be ruler of India and push away the history that maybe protected their ancestor. This is what's happening in India. And Satan is there because there is no force stopping the prosperity of darkness. So once Islam is out, they will enter a prosperity of darkness. Additionally, it depends on the world international environment. I'm not talking about even tribulation which come to the worldwide. And the dark groups are behind it, not Islam. I don't consider those who call themselves Shiite Muslim. Anyway. And they will reach the level that the Chinese have reached, and they will persecute all so-called Hindus, monks, and Kha leaders. Now, there is a divine, terrible creature that will die before the judgment day. We call it Satan. Not Allah who we worship, the owner, the founder, the creator of existence. And don't go there and go deep and start saying some spirit or imagination. There is unbelievable, hateful creature that you just need to ask Allah to protect you from it. And also you cannot recognize 100% how he works, except by those who are scholars and ulama, knowledgeable and other. But still, you need to keep away from these, getting deep to this. Otherwise you start going to black magic and think. And these people see, okay, that's it. As a so-called Hindus, I want you to wake up and be decent with yourself, okay? Why China accepted communists? I mean, to China, I can say that Russia and the West have behind this into military power, which is in a conflict sometime in India borders, and economical power. India, let's talk about. This is the interest of power, the power interest on planet. This is the power the interest of power on to the human in this existence, dunya, on planet Earth. Unfortunately, the devil took these powers on planet Earth to work in the dark side for those who don't believe in God accurately, perfectly. You can see in China. There is a power, economically, military. Is it working for the word of God? No. Now, don't talk about these reactions, which is created by maybe you. No, other topic. Because people would say it's better than Islam. You have no idea about the history of China and what will come as well. Now, I'm not going to go into branch of talk afro hadith that is communist Russia came and kicked the Japanese. The Japanese was a powerful nation in comparison to China and India, and they occupied China in the 20th century and did absolute bad things that time. China is doing worse to the East Turkmenistanis. occupying them and doing absolute unhuman things. So they shouldn't say anything about the Japanese, and they should do this bow to the Japanese in Hanun. Also, the Russians helped them to create to be inspired from the communist point of view, and it's found its place in China within this decade when they were resisting and rejecting the final breath of the so-called Buddhism, which did a lot of crime, human crime, socially, even concerning some historical facts about emperors and things. Now, 1 second, easy. Don't want to go deep to other points. America, the capitalist Russia, used to have a problem with Japan. Study history. America, which I need to do it. America helped them as well against Japan. I want to focus on the Arabian Peninsula and Gulf, but no, I need to do it. China is an economical market, industry, factory. You can study how they both helped to create this China. And the Chinese, anyway. East Turkestan is the biggest victim there as a Muslims. 11 September, the inside job, attacking Islam, war on terror, East Turkestan. And the people are poor in their country, natives, their masjids, house of worship is being destroyed. Now this is another topic, because it's suitable for the West, which have something to do with problem. Also, Russia as well. Russia, there was a church, but the prosperity of darkness was even more in Russia, in certain aspects, than the West itself. That's it. I'm not going to talk about Russia. Anyway, the devil is behind. What is the word? Definitely, the Quran explains how the devil is, the Quran and the Hadith, how he's playing with them. Tagutically. Wallahi. Now, okay, I'm going to stop here. So, did you see the different? Okay? I'm not talking about Gog and Magog. I'm talking about India and China. Why the Chinese? What happened in the environment in China to make this prosperity of the so-called Buddhist darkness to stop finding its place and a new thing take place? Maybe darker or whatever. No, I don't think it's darker. It's the same level, maybe a little bit, maybe less in some aspects, sometime more. And what about India? How come the so-called Hindus is still, they relate themselves to so-called Hinduism, though they used to be in far worse. Even with these rivers and what they are doing in rivers and things. Yup. Far worse. This is fact. I mean, don't just call yourself Buddhist or Hindus or a Christian or a Jew. I'm not going to talk about, or a Shiite, and just bother us and cause trouble. Because there is a network of reason. Indirectly, you're fucking my life. I'm sorry. When I do like this, what does it mean, this one? I came to you in peace. Holy man. What do I mean, my dears, my friends? Do you know this? Sometimes people give you their hand and they have a sword in the other hand. They give you this hand with a flower and they have a sword or a knife. I give you two hands. I'm just explaining to you that you need to understand this historical fact. This point, why China changed from a so-called Buddhist to absolute communist and brutally dictatorship, and why the so-called Hindus is moving again to a nationalist movement representing the so-called Hindusem, which is a so-called Hindu, which lived through a process of prosperity of darkness. The difference is easy. In India, there was an Islam rulership. You can't call it invasion and occupation. No, because you own it. So many among you own it. Even if you are going to see some incident here and here, there will be always some bad rulers, but there is a change in India that even protected the so-called Hindu. In the West, right now, if there was no Islam, there would be no so-called Christianity. But the leaders, the thinkers, even atheists, we need to relate ourselves to the so-called Christian history in a certain way so that we would resist Islam. Does this mean that because, I mean, no, I'm going there. Islam can be a wonderful, moderate, loving, peaceful, protecting the society from A to Z. Ad-din din yusr. It's a religion of ease, not a religion of hardness. The Islamic وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا, all those godly, Rabbaniyun, submitted nation will always must be moderate. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ in the middle, not right, not left, not extreme here, not. It's in the Quran. I'm not bringing anything from it here. So anyway, at this point, you go. This is about Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is His final messenger. I understand that the taghut world and the deceiving world is not easy. Wallahi, it's not easy. They always talk about darkness and sin and things in heaven and fire and judgment day. So many, especially the people of book. This video is about understanding the history of China and the history of India. Thank you very much. 52 minutes. 52 minutes and some second. It was absolutely this one, with due my great respect, is nothing. I was in an energetic. Do you know what time is it? It's after 2. And I gave it 52 and I stopped. Then I returned back and I said, you give this energy, you give it, and you crossed a lot of lines, Mr. Tito Tariq. I deleted it. Allah, it was wonderful. What? How many minutes here? Can I check? 41. 12 minutes. I'm sure that we are not gonna delete this video because they're here stabbing me. Those who shouldn't talk. No, I'm joking. I'm saying the truth. Am I joking? Easy. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me.